Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Billy. Today I would like to share with you two sleeveless dresses with a pleated neckline and a double-tiered gather skirt. And today's dresses are a continuation of what I started with my video 84, the gingham print one, and also both of the dresses from my last video, video 85. And so I was just sort of on a roll with this combination. And so I was looking at my fabric stash. And in a way, I kind of wanted to make a little black dress because I felt the combination of the pleated neckline with sleeveless bodice and the gathered tier skirt was a perfect combination for a little black dress. I did not have suitable black fabric in my stash. However, I did have this one in sort of a very light cream single wool crepe that I purchased very early on in my sewing journey from Move Fabrics store in New York City's garment district. And so instead of a little black dress, I decided to make a little white dress instead. So the first dress that I will share with you today is this one here, made from 1.5 yards of 62-inch wide single wool crepe that I purchased from Moose store in New York City's garment district. And so here's a close-up look of the texture and also the color itself. And because this is a sort of a plain solid color, you could see the pleated neckline much more easily than before when I used a patterned fabric. And so in terms of construction, it's exactly the same as before. I didn't make further changes. About this fabric, I don't know what came over me that I purchased this white or off-white or cream colored fabric because New York City is not exactly the cleanest place on earth, and so anything light color would get dirty fairly easily. So in a way, this is a very high maintenance garment. But I just really love the simplicity of it. It's a solid, even though generally I use a lot of print fabric in my garments, but every so often, it really is almost a palette cleanser to make something that is a solid color because it really highlights the design elements of the dress. So as a result, you could see the pleats of the neckline, much more easily just because there's nothing to distract from it. And also the tiered design, the tiers are very visible in this case. And this dress, in a way, is designed a little bit of a party dress. And ideally, I would have loved to have 3 tiers for the skirt, but I only had 1.5 yards of this, so I was only able to squeeze out a double-tiered skirt out of that 1.5 yards of the fabric that I had. And in this case, because it's wool, I lined it with silk chamois. Like this here in white that I purchased from dharmatrading.com. That is a California-based company, and they do have the best pricing for silks as far as I can tell, much cheaper than anything that I could even find in New York City's garment district. And the quality is excellent, so I could highly recommend it. And of course, this is not sponsored because one thing about the construction of the skirt is that because the amount of fabric needed for the tiers, invariably that means I would need to connect the strips of fabric. And it didn't occur to me until this one that the seams may be quite visible. And before it didn't the seams were never visible to me because the print or the color would very easily camouflage the seams. But in this case, because this color is a solid color and also a light color, the seam was quite obvious. So here, this is what, so there is a seam down in the center front of the bottom tier here. So it's definitely, I did not anticipate it, and so it's quite visible. But luckily, it's not particularly noticeable, if you walk around. And so luckily that did not ruin the look of this dress. So I thought I would mention it to you in case you're thinking about creating something similar. So here is a quick video of this wool crepe dress. And I paired the dress with a pair of 3-inch heels in magenta for a pop of color. And I really love the combination of this cream colored dress with this magenta shoes. And really this dress is the perfect little white dress. And I'm really glad that it turned out exactly as I had anticipated. So overall, a success. The second dress that I will share with you today is this one here, made from about 2.5 yards of quilting cotton by the Rifle Paper Company that I purchased from fabrics.com or fabric.com earlier this year. And so here's a close-up look of the print itself. Well, as you can see, the bodice is fairly plain, and the skirt itself is where the action is. In addition to the pleated, I'm sorry, not the pleated, the gather skirt, the floral print is all on the bottom hem here. So about this fabric, the floral print is along the length or the warp of the fabric, and the orientation of the floral print is along the cross grain of the fabric itself. And so when I saw it, I just immediately fell in love with it. And I knew that the floral print will be on the hem of either a skirt or a dress. Since I was on a roll making this tier gather skirt dresses, I decided that this fabric would be a good choice for this design. And so that's why I came up with the idea of a plain bodice. And also the first tier is also plain. And the bottom tier, in this case, is a much longer tier. So this is what it looks like. And in contrast to the white wool crepe version, because the floral print is along the length of the fabric, there is no connecting seams whatsoever. So the bottom tier is just one continuous piece. And because it's quilting cotton, the weaving is the same for both the threads in both directions. So that works out. There was no issue of the fabric stretching because I turned it sideways for the skirt portion. Here is a quick video of this navy blue floral print border dress, and I paired the dress with a pair of 3-inch heels in also navy blue in suede for a very cohesive look. And I really love it. It's all the action is on the skirt, and so I'm very glad that I kept the bodice fairly plain, even though not too plain, because it still had that pleated neckline. And so I am really happy how this dress turned out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. So I hope you will stay safe, be well, and I hope I will see you soon. Bye-bye!